All right, so for our monthly outings, we have 8 to 10 volunteer outings each month, and we have 6 clients participating in that. That's the Meals on Wheels, those kind of things. And then we have program outings, so we're doing 12 to 15 a month. Over 100 clients are participating in that, and then there's just some of the places that we focus on going. These are developed by meeting with the team members. So the clients are meeting with the team members maybe this month, and they're talking about what are the kinds of things you want to do. Now you openly ask someone, what do you want to do? They might not have the knowledge of, well, what's out there. So we're doing a lot of education behind that, strategically offering some opportunities that maybe they don't experience all the time, and then teaching about that to see if there's an interest. If there is, then we put that on the calendar for the next month's outings, and clients are invited to attend that. Okay, and for our clinical, so as you know, we had started counseling. We brought in a licensed professional counselor to support our family members and siblings. They're really trying to promote that. Counseling team is going into the homes and supporting some of our clients out on the activities on their weekends. That's a tough transition if they aren't wanting to be in crowded spaces. So our counseling and behavioral team is going out to the houses to help and assist with that. Outpatient therapists, as Bill mentioned, we have our physical therapist, occupational, our speech therapist, feeding therapist, not only doing that in the outpatient clinic, but also coming here in the afternoons or on Fridays, and then also going into the homes and assisting and teaching our team members to use some of those techniques that they're working on with the clients. And then our adult clinical team is spending a lot of time educating our team members on that behavioral and mental health. So when we're working with clients and they respond in a certain way, not all team members are aware of the intricacies of every person, but this training is really helping each month give that information so that they can best support your loved ones. And then our behavioral health clinic, we have applied for that. We are still waiting for our certification, but that should be coming soon, and that will just be more mental health supports for the clients and for our community.
April,
Yes.
The grant also, doesn't it do like some form of work counseling for our staff? If they're
So we also, through our grant, we have a counselor or a licensed counselor that comes to this building on Fridays, and our team members can sign up and meet with the counselor. We don't know who's doing it. We don't know when they're leaving. You know, it might be on their break. They might just say they need, some time away from the room. And they go and meet, and they're able to talk through any of the stressors. We recognize that if clients are having maybe some heightened emotions, that could strike some emotions within our team members. And our team members have experienced trauma in their life, and that might promote some of that. So this is just a way to give them extra support and be able to have that free space to talk. And I'm going to invite Jim up to come talk about self-reliance and employment.
Yeah, thanks. So the self-reliance program, we started planning for this shortly after I started, which was in 2002. I know the
2002?
Sorry, 20.
Like Jim, you just told us you're only here 4 years.
I'm sure somebody had an idea for me. Anyways, the executive team met with some parents, and we started to do some focus groups on what more we could provide people in terms of being more self-reliant and independent. And so in 2003, we started programming, planning for a pilot that we were going to run here with a select group of individuals in the program. And then we, through a vetting process, we interviewed a bunch of the clients and found who was interested in becoming more self-reliant in their lives. And we identified 8 clients that we started back in the summer of 2003, and they did an 18-month grueling pilot. It wasn't grueling. It was just a long pilot that we slowly introduced different pillars, like employment and health and wellness, finance and tech, home and community skills as well. And then and that again went 18 months, and through that we continued to do assessments to see if the material that we were providing to them was actually helping them. Were they learning things? Were they actually becoming more self-reliant? And then earlier this year in April, we officially launched the Self-Reliance program with a career club, which is basically, think of it like pre-employment training. So maybe somebody that's interested in employment, they don't know what they want to do, maybe they're lacking some skills to actually work in the community. That career club works towards introducing them to different careers. Many times I'll ask somebody, because I'm the employment guy, so clients will come up to me and say, I want to work. And I say, well, what do you want to do? And they say, well, my friend's a bagger at Jewel, or my friend works at Walmart. I'm like, but what do you want to do? And they don't know the scope of things that are out there. So a career club gives them a much broader spectrum of careers that they could actually be interested in. So we do career inventories, so we ask them what they would like to do, and we go through a whole list of things that they can identify what their interests are, what they're good at, and we narrow that down to some different careers. And then, in addition to the actual classroom time, we take them out into the community to actually tour different kinds of employers that we have relationships with. So it's been really valuable. And
Jim,
yes.
so thinking about jobs, when we said value, you just placed a guy who was having a hard time finding a job. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
All right, go ahead then.
Yeah, so this gentleman named Kevin,
Yep.
he came to us a little less than a year ago, maybe 9 months ago. He has a degree in history, but he also has a certification as a surgical tech. So really bright guy with a lot of skills, but he had a hard time with the actual relationships on the job. So obviously when you work, you don't work in a bubble. And if you're a surgical tech, you work with surgeons and nurses and the administration in a hospital or a clinic. So he was really struggling with those relationships. So employment it's a gamut of different skills that the job developers and job coaches have to have. They have to be able to train somebody on the job, but also how do you behave on the job? What's the difference between the relationship you have with a friend and a coworker and a boss, an administrator and a CEO? So all of those things we have to teach those folks. So Kevin was really good about applying for jobs and would interview, and then he also lacked some interview skills too. He was a little too blunt with things, so we had to teach him, you have to round the edges a little bit about your responses. So my team really worked with him and were able to help him with some of those relationship struggles, but also in terms of presentation at an interview. And so he got a job as a surgical tech in Peoria, which we will be coaching him virtually through phone and through like Zoom and things like that. Obviously, we can't be in the surgical room, but we can talk with him before and afterwards and debrief with him and help him with that. But he was so excited. I think he emailed you too.
Yeah.
He emailed a whole bunch of us and said, I got the job. Because we knew he was going to an interview. Some of our clients we go to the interview with, some we don't, depending on their comfortability and their skills. But yeah, that was
And he went through career club.
He did, yeah. Thank you for telling me that. Kevin, as part of his job development training, went through career club. I think he was in the first one. Yeah, the first one back in April. And first he hated it. He's like, I don't like this. Isn't for me. I'm like, just stick with it. You know, just give it a few more weeks because I think you're going to find some value in it. He really did. So he's one of our successes that's come out of that.
Surgical tech.
Yeah.
See, not bag,
Yeah.
right? It's find the value.
Right, exactly. So, transitioning to employment, in the last year, we've successfully placed 16 clients, and these are just some of the employers that we work with. You might recognize some of those logos. And this is Alexis, and this is Ryan, and then Nevaeh, who's at the Chick-fil-A over in Countryside, so if you ever want to get something to eat when you're close by, she's over there. And then this is Anna, who we served in a Project Search program, which the Ackermans are very well involved with. We worked with Anna in Project Search, and then she worked at Party City, and then they closed. And she went from, sorry, I'm probably taking too much time. This is too good to not share.
You went to the Bill Dwyer training of public speaking.
Right. So Anna, we're so proud of her. She went from would look at the floor at Party City, wouldn't talk to anybody, was just stocking, to actually becoming a cashier, and then she was training the new employees that came in. So she had this huge growth. And then when they closed down, she contacted us, not her parents. She contacted us and said, look, I want to get a new job. You guys helped me, what can we do? And then we were able to get her a job at the Dollar Tree. And now she's kind of doing the same thing there. She's learning the job and she's becoming a cashier. And I'm sure over time she'll be training new employees as well.
Oh, back home? No, that's over, swiping.
Well, I'm sorry guys.
You just saw the ending.
I have not been trained on the new smart boards. So, just a couple stats and then then you can swipe me back.
Yes.
We had a new employment specialist start in the past year, started in March. And her job is to create relationships with employers in the community, which is so crucial for getting people hired. If we don't have a pool of employers to speak with and we don't have those relationships, it's very, very difficult to even get somebody an interview, much less get them hired somewhere. So I think before she started, we had about 100, 150 contacts for employers, and that was over the past almost 3 years since I've been here. And then since she started in March up to now, she's added an additional 150 employer contacts. And it's not just the quantity that we need, but we also need quality contacts. We need quality relationships. So out of those 150, she's been able to get 4 people jobs just since March, since she started, out of those new contacts. So we're really proud of her for that. And I'm continuing to push her, like with the same. We're always pushing excellence. So in some sense, it's never enough. I want more. And then this year, we are working with 50% more clients looking for jobs. So we have 50% more that we're finding jobs for, which is what we want. We want to find more people jobs in the community. And that was through the effort of our job developers, Chris and Jennifer, who have worked really hard to create more relationships with more Department of Rehabilitation Services offices within the community. And when I first started here, we had 2 relationships, and now we have an additional 4. So we have 6 different offices that we get referrals from to be able to help people find jobs. So I'm really proud of my team. They've worked really hard, and we've seen some growth from that. So my phone keeps like hearing me and wanting to do those things. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, Jeff.
You know, as we're going through these, questions are building. And as Jim mentioned, I've been doing Project Search for a lot of years as well, whatever they've been in operation. Are these day program people, or
Oh,
is this
that's a really
whole
good question.
separate
Most are
entity?
from outside of the agency.
Okay.
I've actually, when I started here, I was like, oh, there's so many people here, we have to get them all jobs. Well, then we started to interview them, and they really like it here. They don't want to go get a job. No, some of them do. In fact, we just had a guy hired at NICO, which is one of our big supporters. He came to us a few months ago from another agency